Good morning, all. So I spent yesterday making my custom fictional midfield football league. Midfield football was released by Clark and Addison Games. Brian Haferkamp released this, I want to say, 48 hours ago, a couple of days ago. It is a free dice football game, and it is fantastic. It is elegant as hell, just very smooth, very elegant, and it's exactly the kind of solitaire football game that I love. It uses a handful of dice. Depending on how many dice you use, you can do it all in one roll. But anyway, so I spent yesterday creating my league and my custom rules, and I thought I would share that file free for anybody who's interested. Again, you're free to use the league. However, most of you will want to make your own thing, but at least this gives you an idea of what I've done and what kind of custom rules I'm using. So I'll put a link to both the free download on Clark and Addison in the video description box, as well as a link directly to this example. This will be my midfield football league. I thought I would share it, my custom rules and etc. So, I got the game printed yesterday, just quickly made a couple of teams and started dropping dice. It's just so elegant and smooth. So I wanted to do more with it. So I created a league. So my league is a simple 16. And I've talked about this before. Most of my leagues, no matter what the sport, I usually make small leagues for intimacy. Plus, it's just less paperwork for me to do when I play my career, especially with long career legacy leagues. I want small leagues. I would love to play big leagues. I just don't have the rest of my life to play one. So I have so much going on that I have to keep things intimate. So we have the North American Pro Football League, the Canadian division, the Calgary Paints. These are Appaloosas. These are based on cutting horses. So a paint is slang for a cutting horse. They are. So again, Calgary is famous for rodeo, so the Calgary Paints. Toronto is famous for it's their financial headquarters. It is their financial seat of their country. Toronto is so again, Toronto Tycoons. Vancouver is the most densely populated city in Canada, but it is the concrete jungle. You are steps away from outdoor adventures, so the Vancouver Adventurers. Chicago Builders. Chicago were the first city to build sky rises. And so I was thinking about the architects, but I went with the builders. Chicago, famous for building skyscrapers. The Houston Independents. This would be Sam Houston fighting for the War of Independence. So the Houston Independents. And San Diego Californians. Most people don't know this. California was basically, San Diego founded California. So I was thinking about calling this the San Diego Founders, but I went with the Californians. It is a 7-game schedule, so very simple. You're going to play everybody in your division twice. You're going to play everybody in the league, in the other division one time for a fast season of 7 games, with the playoff being, because it's such a short year, 4 of the 6 teams will make it into the playoffs with a chance to play for the championship. My custom league rules, kickoff touchbacks put you at the 30. So a touchback a touchback really benefits the offense, not so great for the kicking team. So being able to kick the ball where you can force a return is going to be the rarity, right? So most offenses are going to get a really good starting line. A missed field goal spot, though, is from the line of scrimmage. So if you kick a field goal from the 4 and you miss, they take over at the 4. So it would behoove you to kick a short field goal, because even if you miss, they're going to be pinned at the 4-yard line. So no matter where you miss, that's where they get the ball at the line of scrimmage. Punt touchbacks bring you out to the 25. So again, a touchback is not a great thing. So if you punt the ball into the end zone, they're going to get the ball at their 25. Kickoff from the 35. This is basic. This is the NFL. I think college is at the 35 still. And of course, he mentions in the rules kickoff from the 35. So we're sticking with that. Safety punt. If you suffer a safety, you have to punt it from your own 20. Onside recovery, I'm not certain if he mentions, I don't recall when I was writing this whether he mentioned in the rules where the ball was recovered on an onside kick. So I would use whatever his rules say. I put in here to remind me that I gotta have something. So I put the 50, but it could be in the rules. It could tell you, but I don't recall when I was writing this. Pass can only go out of the end zone from the 10 or closer. So if you throw a 30-yard pass from the 9-yard line, that's going to be out of the end zone. Again, this is optional for most people. I don't know if he has a rule like this in his rules, but I always like to have a limit for throwing touchdown, long passes inside the 10. Field goal distance, add 17 on the spot. So if you're kicking from the 30, that's a 47-yard field goal attempt. And also, 2-point conversions are from the 2-yard line, and they use the 4th and short only column, which is so sweet. One of the things I love about Brian's charts is he has a 4th and short roll. It's so damn cool. I also put in here optional pass play percentage tweaks. So for those who don't know, the Midfield football team's offense have no ratings. They only have a run-pass variable. So your offense is based on whether you run the ball or pass the ball percentage. So I put in here a simple adjustment. It's an optional on short yardage plays, -5 to that run-pass percentage, which means you're going to pass less. So if your team passes 55% of the time, they would pass 50% of the time in short yardage. On 3rd and short, they would run the ball even higher chance. On 3rd medium, they're going to pass more, and on long yardage, they're going to definitely pass more. So these adjust your coach's run pass percentage. Okay, but this is optional. You can do whatever you want for down and distance. You can devise just a league-wide down and distance chart if you want to have it just based on down and distance. What I love about this is it's an elegant system and infinitely customizable. Brian nailed it with this free game, and it's complimentary. Dude, it's brilliant. All right, so my custom cap rules. So those who don't know, I use cap. This is the career athlete's position. This just represents their years in the league. They're either a rookie, they're either in their peak, or they're veterans. If they're rookies, they'll graduate to a peak in the next year. If they're a peak, they could stay at a peak for any number of years. And once they become veterans, then that's the chance that they're going to retire from the league. So, but you can be a veteran for any number of years. Also, I have a punter place kicker adjustment. This is not in the base rules. So when you make a punter, you roll to see if he has a -2 to all punts or if he has a +2 to all punts, and same with place kickers. This is a dice adjustment, not a yardage adjustment. So if I roll 23, and I have I would modify my punter. Say my punter's a -2. I roll a 23. That would be a 20. That would be a 16 on the charts, right? If he's a +2, 23, it would be a 25 on the charts, right? On a place kicker. So this just gives punters and place kickers a slight, and it's rare. They're only 17% of your players in the league, or 34% of your players in your league have a chance of having some kind of adjustment. Return man TD chance, it's only a 17% chance that any return man in the game will have its asterisk, which just means they get a chance to return punts and kicks for touchdown. Off season, a rookie automatically becomes peak. Peak players in the off season, if I roll a 1 or a 2, they become veterans. If not, they remain in their peak. And the veteran aging chart, if I roll a 1, that veteran will retire from the league, and I need to create a rookie. 2 through 6, the veteran continues to play this season. So these are just my cap rules for this game. I have different cap rules depending on what game I'm playing. My league consists of 6 teams with a roster of offensive players, defensive highlight players, special teams player ratings, and team offense percentages and defensive ratings. You'll find each team has a few custom ratings. Okay, so highlight players are just who might get your tackles for loss, your sacks, your fumble recoveries, your interceptions. When creating a team, assign a defensive player position if you want to. I give an example, but that's not how I did mine. I just give an example of how you might assign for highlights your key defensive players, right? Okay, but most importantly, what you need to know is this is the big tweak I made to the game. I added, so defense is what's one rating. It's your defense will be a 2, 1, or 0. 0 is the most common. I actually have pass defense, run defense, red zone defense. So I have broken defenses into 3 categories. So there's a lot more dynamism now on defense. One of the things I love about the game is there are no offensive ratings there, but defense greatly affects the game. And not greatly, it has a chance to affect the game. And I love that. I love that your offense is going to be based on quality of football. Defense is going to determine whether they can slow down the enemy. So the Cavalry paints, this is what a team looks like. Most of it's fictional. There are going to be a few things like Soldier Field. Cavalry paints, they are in National Rodeo Stadium, outdoor grass, 31,000 seat capacity. Their head coach is Kerry Wisdom. He's a veteran. I even roll for they can be rookie coaches, then they can be peak coaches, then veterans, and then some coaches will retire. His pass run percentage, this is all you need for offense in midfield, is 1 to 47%. He passes the ball. But I broke it down to players. So when you roll that play, this will tell you who's catching the ball or who's running the ball. So again, one handful of dice. You would roll all three sets of dice. You would roll your offensive die for the play call. You would, which is the D100. You would roll your D21, which is your D6. It's 2D6, D21. Read low to high for the result, and then you also roll a third pair of D66s for your defense. So you're rolling a total of 3 pairs of dice in one roll. So let's say I roll a 42. That would be a pass play. So here, Calgary, when on their first down, would pass. 42 would be a pass to James Wright, my flanker. And let's say I roll a 16. Let's say that's a completion for 12 yards, right? And the defense is a 56. They're not going to have effect on the play. It would be a completion pass to James Wright for 12 yards or whatever that is. Plus rack. There might be a rack check and all that. This team also has a punter. It doesn't affect a play, but he has a PK, which is really good. -2 would help him make field goals. Actually, -2 would hurt him. I'm sorry. -2 would be not a great roll for place kickers. So this guy is he's a rookie, but he's not going to be, there's a chance he's going to miss a few more kicks than his contemporaries. Defense, this team is pass. They're a 2, so they're the best possible pass defense you could have in football. Their run defense is a 0, and their red zone defense is a 0. So once a team gets into the red zone, once an offense gets to the 20 or closer, you would use a team's defensive red zone only. So when a team passes against this team, they're a 2. When a team runs against them, they're a 0. And when they're in the red zone, they're 0. So this team is brilliant pass defense. Not so great. Well, they're average. I would say 0 is average. They're average the rest of the way. And then these are just the potential players that could get highlights. Sacks, tackle for losses, and interceptions. Each team looks just like this. So you can see Toronto Tycoons, they're at CN Tower Stadium, 44,000. Their pass run coach is 53%. So again, the first roll, 1 to 53, is going to be a receiver catching the ball. Above that will be a running play. And then, of course, their defense is 0-1-0. So their average pass, pretty damn good run, and then they're, again, average red zone. And then their highlight players. And then, again, we have Vancouver Adventurers, Pac West Field, Outdoor Grass, 37.5. Their quarterback passes more than any quarterback in the league, 54% of the time. And again, these are the receivers, and then it turns into run plays, and then their defense is a 1-1. So they're a great pass defense. They're a solid pass defense, solid run defense, but when teams get in the red zone, they can be had. And then we got sacks, tackle for loss, interception, and then we got the Chicago Builders, Soldier Field, 61.5. Lester Franklin is a 48% passer, so he runs a little more than he passes. He's got a punter with a +2. And his red zone defense. So if you get into the Chicago's red zone, that defense is the best in football too. So this is a bend but don't break defense. And I rolled these up using his, charts. I created these teams, rolling his team creation. I did my own pass run percentage for coaches. So I created coaches and then I assigned them to teams. Okay, anyway, this defense in the red zone is fantastic. Right, so that's pretty cool. And then again, the Houston Independence Fossil Fuel Coalition Stadium, 42,000. And again, this team passes 50-50, so they'll run past 50-50. They've got a punter +2. And then again, I forgot to underline sacks too. Anyway, and that, I believe, is our last team, is it not? Oh, no. And their defense is 0-0-0, which is, again, 0 is going to be your most common, if I remember right. San Diego Californians, Bayview Park, 37.5. Al Donaldson as a 51% passer. So again, most of these teams I would say all these teams in my league are balanced for the most part. And then again, their defense is really good against the pass, and they're average against the run and red zone. And there is my first league for Midfield football. So I will put a link in the description box so you can go to Clark and Addison and download this brilliant dice football game. And I will put a link to this if you just want to have this or see how I'm doing my fictional career in midfield football. Everybody out there having a brilliant week. Wonderful. Anytime a new football game comes out, I'm excited. And when it's complimentary by one of my favorite game designers, stand the hell back because I'm going to be playing it. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.